Hello everyone, I've finally leveled up the MP5 and this means that I can do a proper loadout video on it. And unlike my video that I did on the AK-74U, I'm not going to be going over anything other than the MP5 loadout itself. Like, I'm not going to be going over secondaries, tacticals, perks, anything like that. Just because I've already done that, and it's all basically the same apart from the MP5 itself, so if you want to see that, go watch my other video that I made on the AK-74U. So, not to waste any time, I'm just going to jump straight in. And I'm going to go down through all of the different categories and explain what you should use, if you should use it, and why you should use it. And especially if you're not running the wildcard gunfighter, if you're running perk greed like a lot of people do, then you only have 5 attachments. So what I suggest is not to use an optic on this gun, just because its recoil means that it's easy to control without an optic. Its iron sights aren't the best, but they're not bad. But more importantly, this is a very up close gun. If you're shooting long range with this gun, then you've got the wrong one. So what I suggest is not to go for an optic, unless you're running gunfighter. So for the muzzle, there are a few things that people choose, like the agency suppressor, the sound suppressor, or the SOCOM eliminator. I think is probably the only other one you should be using. And in my case, I found that you don't really need a suppressor with the MP5, especially in multiplayer. It's just not really worth it. I know a lot of people do it, it's very popular. I just don't really see what it's used for, especially since this gun's recoil is a bit worse because of its high fire rate than other SMGs. The SOCOM eliminator can really help that, especially with the other attachments that we're going to be putting on this gun. So it's perfectly fine to use something like the agency suppressor if you're trying to flank behind and get multi-kills, because you are very loud without it, or the sound suppressor, but especially with the fact that it's a close range gun, the damage range is affected a lot more with these, and it's very helpful if you have that damage range, because you're not going to be doing a lot of damage at long range anyway. Now, for the barrel, I really like the Task Force barrel in general, but it's just not worth it on this gun because of the vertical recoil control and horizontal recoil control cons that you get with it. And it does perfectly enough damage using it. So, you just take the basic 9.5 reinforced heavy. There's basically no other choice here, in my opinion. I think this is just the one that you should be taking. Body is a really good thing, and if you like hip firing, and if you find out whilst you're playing you just generally do it quite a lot, then it would be really good to have one of these. Personally, I don't think it's that good, because hip firing in general on this game isn't the best, and my luck with hip firing isn't the best, by which I mean I'll be right next to someone and shoot them 50 times and none of the bullets seem to hit. So I just prefer to aim down sights, and I think it's something I've just learned over the years. So I don't go for a body here. Underbarrel, this gun definitely needs an underbarrel. It's not worth it without. And obviously some of your choices are the foregrip, the field agent grip, and maybe this last grip. But I think just in general, shooting move speed, I've never really found that to be something that I'm wanting in a gun. So the field agent grip has really good positives and really good negatives, as in like it doesn't really affect you. So I think on the MP5, with its recoil, its bouncy recoil, the field agent grip can turn it into basically a laser. So pretty easy choice for me there. But magazine is not an easy choice at all, because this gun has an extremely high fire rate, as I keep saying. But what that means is you're going to go through ammo very quick, and even if you've got good accuracy and you're hitting shots, it does still mean you're going to be, after you've killed about 2 or 3 people, you're going to be needing to reload if you haven't anyway. And that's why the salvo rags, did I say rags? The salvo mags, it's a magazine, it's not a ragazine. What am I on? The salvo mags are really good because of that 40% reload quickness. And it's really noticeable, especially if you're moving around a lot and you don't have sprint cancels reload. you can get into a fight, get out, reload in a matter of seconds, get back in and start shooting again faster than your opponent probably could. But 40 rounds goes very fast in this gun, so the 50 round drum can just give you that extra bit of gun power, fire power, than if you were to use a 40 round mag. Personally, I would still rather take the recoil, reload quickness, obviously quite slow, and it's very noticeable when you're disengaging. Reloading takes quite a while, and it means you're out of the fight for longer, and it means people can shoot you for longer. So I'd say that's probably one of the hardest choices with this gun, and I think both of them are perfectly viable. As I've said, for the muzzle, very similar, but I think it's a bit of a harder choice here. Now the last things we have, we can either choose between a handle and a stock, because I don't use a body because I don't think I need it, and the optic is definitely not needed on this gun. So you have a few choices. In terms of stocks, anything to do with sprint to fire time, like the collapse stock, the nose stock, and the raider stock, are really good. They all help this gun, and they're really nice with especially the MP5 due to its its high mobility, and it means you can run around, and getting that sprint to fire time is really nice. And this would work well with a body, with some sort of laser that increases your hip fire accuracy. That's exactly why I'm not going to choose it, and I'm going to take a handle instead. And the specific handle is the airborne elastic wrap, which is quite OP, and I think a lot of people are using this, and there's a reason for that. And it's the aim down sight time, which I said before is something that I think you should really start doing if you don't in this game. If you like hip firing, and then I feel sorry for you, because it's not that good in this game, especially compared to Modern Warfare. The flinch resistance is really, really nice, because you have so many people that go around with guns that can kill you in a matter of seconds, that fire really fast. It's always nice to make sure most of your bullets hit, because otherwise they're just going to kill you. That flinch resistance helps. And obviously aim whilst going prone, if you drop shot, that's another benefit. If you don't drop shot, but you still aim down sight a lot, then I'd say probably the serpent wrap or just the speed tape is pretty good. Yeah, I take this one because shooting move speed is one of the negatives, and as I said before, doesn't really affect me. And then the sprint to fire time, the negative there, that's right, because the mobility on this gun is already pretty high, and if you are feeling like the sprint to fire time is bad, then I would suggest just going with a no stock, which makes it just that bit faster, and it's a nice gun. But I just love the handle. I drop shot quite a bit, and it helps me quite a lot. So yeah, I'm just working through the challenges since the last video I made, and therefore nothing here has really changed. So that's the video. That's my MP5, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you when I next upload.